in reduction of postings like obstetrics, gynecology, opthal, ENT. And all of this ultimately paved way to the introduction of super specialty and Ayush. Introduction of the Indian system of medicine promotes the harmony and cultivates a better understanding between the modern and the Indian system. This kind of a collaboration was wanted for a long time since Indian population enters both, and every now and then people seem to juggle between the two. Also, NMC takes utmost care in overlooking the ragging issues. There is also a certain level of sanctity which is expected of a medical professional, and their topmost priority is to work towards it. And instilling such devious acts tends to cause emotional trauma to the young medicos. Hence, the Commission ought to take even more stricter actions and also establishing a mentorship scheme. The COVID pandemic has indeed caused a haywire in the timeline of the undergraduate, postgraduate entrance examinations. So reframing it to an appropriate timeline is also a dire necessity. The ruling acknowledged without any doubt that the new guidelines by the NMC is indeed bringing about new revolution in the field of medicine. It provides them with newer opportunities in the branch of medicine which they otherwise wouldn't have discovered. All the MBBS students must consider this as a privilege and welcome the newer reforms wholeheartedly. Like they say, learning can never exhaust your mind.
Thank you. Chair calls Health Minister Muzammil.
Thank you. Respected Chair, an investment in knowledge pays the best dividend. These are the words by Benjamin Franklin. Ayush stands for Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha, and Homeopathy. One of the striking agenda of the new NMC guideline is the introduction of Ayush. Ayush as a one-week program in the internship of medical students, aiming to provide some basic knowledge about Ayush and its possibility in the modern scenario. So medical education itself is a cumulative learning. So introducing this will only boost up the knowledge in the new field. And moreover, every field has its own importance. Such an initiative should be welcomed for the benefit of the public, since serving them is the utmost important one. Having no FDA limits, this sector, that is the Ayush sector, has massive potential for the exponential growth, especially in times of public health crisis. India is one of the few nations in the world that has an entire ministry dedicated to the research and development of such alternative medicines, which ensures efficient fostering of the development that take place in the field. So the medical professionals should take this as a golden opportunity to explore another field of medicine, which has its own significance in the medical science. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair calls Minister for State of Health, Eloisa.
Thank you, Chair. India is a country where medical pluralism is officially recognized and encouraged. Because of such a policy, there is no official provision for crosstalk between the professionals in different streams during the medical education, research, and practice. This has in fact given rise to mutual misgivings among these healthcare professionals. In this communication, the government argued that it is time to encourage some kind of crosstalk among the professionals of different streams. The government further suggests that introducing an Ayush module in the current MBBS curriculum would be one such concrete step in creating mutual trust and respect. Encouraging Ayush institutions to hire biomedicine experts to give instructions in this communication, the government argued that it is time to encourage some kind of crosstalk among the professionals. Encouraging institutions to hire biomedicine experts to give instruction is also a suggestion. While the WHO mandates a doctor-patient ratio of 1:1,000, India has 1:1,474. This, including that the lakhs of Ayush practitioners currently practicing in India are already ready to dispense basic medical health care on a daily basis. In a country bedeviled by shortage of medical practitioners, they arguably provide some medical support to large swathes of population. Coming to the MBBS curriculum, most of the MBBS students don't know what intervention their patients might have been subjected to. They are not even exposed to the possible adverse effects. There is increasingly available literature on herb drug, food drug, and drug-drug interactions that are being overlooked by medical practitioners. This situation, if left unaffected, would lead to create hindrances, and not only that, would put the patients in higher risks. Most of the students are unaware about the Ayush modalities that have been more advanced right now. Therefore, having some knowledge in history
Rabi, some problem, technical problem.
Okay, chair calls opposition leader Vishwanath.
Honorable Chair, the NMC draft of 22nd April 2021 is utterly disappointing in fascistic against the student medical community. The section 17th of the 4.3 clause of the NMC draft drastically points out a week's internship in Ayush courses without any prior knowledge in the same. The government's sheer negligence to our health sector is clearly visible in posting trained professional doctors into such courses, such pseudo-scientific courses such as Ayush, thus putting the patient's life at risk. In response to the speech made by the learned delegate Eloisa, I would rather say that crosstalks and collaborations can happen over a cup of coffee or a table room, but not over a patient's deathbed. And in sense, the 1:1,000 ratios of the doctor and patients is quite alarming. But how does a week's internship in Ayush does anything to improve the ratio? And in reference to the Prime Minister's inaugural speech, cutting down of allopathic pillars such as obstetrics, ENT, and ophthalmology, and rather redirecting the valuable time into Ayush courses does not do any good. And at the day, the government's misconceptions and fascistic ideas against mixopathic ideals is utterly disappointing and condescending upon the medical fraternity of the country. I question the government's stance. The government wants to teach us a culture. The government wishes to impose a set of fascistic idealism onto the opposition, onto the people, onto the medical fraternity. We make sure our voices are heard. Indians stand together under a secular cloud of hope. And hereby, try to improve the growing pandemic. There are 4.22 lakh people dying. And there is the ailing GDP sector with just 1% contributed towards the health sector. Brush upon those, improve the health sector, and not dwell in the national medical curriculum. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Farzana.
Respected Chair, the medical field has got a lot of subdivisions, and one of them is Ayush, which follows an entirely different pathway as compared to the allopathic medicine. The two of them can never be intermixed in order to treat a patient. The MBBS curriculum is filled with topics of greater importance to make a person a skilled doctor in the field of allopathy, and including Ayush in this curriculum, even for a year or for a week, would be hectic for the medical students to follow up the two entirely different fields of medicine. As the current scenario demands skilled doctors with much greater efficiency, the fusion of the two is neither a solution nor a positive approach. It's been said, you cannot put your legs in two boats at the same time. MBBS students will get confused with the two fields, as well as it will also be a wastage of time as well as their valuable energy. Moreover, each IU student gets 4 years in order to complete their curriculum, while an MBBS student has to cope up with the same curriculum in a week or a year along with their own curriculum, and it could be a hectic task for them. Addition of Ayush in the name of getting the best skilled doctors along with MBBS curriculum would lead to a drastic condition. And always, our nation needs the best. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Ashwin.
Respected Chair, draft regulation for compulsory rotating internship released by NMC, making it mandatory for a week training in Ayush course is for medical graduates is not acceptable. It's not appropriate that medical graduates are forced to practice alternate and traditional treatment system which are not based on evidence-based medicine. By introducing this scheme, there will not be much benefits to medical graduates as both modern medicine and traditional medicine are of two different principles and treatment. So in order to overcome the lack of doctors, the government should create new medical college, increase medical seats, and enhance foreign medical graduates to work in India than promoting Ayush practitioners to do allopathy medicine. If mixopathy is encouraged, then these actions are irresponsible and will have long negative impact on Indian health system. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Abbas.
Respected Chair. First of all, MBBS is inclined towards the modern medicine, Ayush, which includes Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy. And it is like a more regional approach and it's not so common nowadays. While Ayush is an entirely different approach from viewing it from the human body, health to treatment, so there's no point in mixing it up. The MBBS students have already struggled a lot to reach up to the internship, and after that, a special training for something that they have no idea about is not only time consuming but also a wastage of their energy. At the same time, it would also degrade the respect for Ayush graduates, and in short, it would drop the efficiency of MBBS graduates, mix up their knowledge into entirely different field, and make it hectic. But on the contrary, if the government opens workshops for the researchers in a field in which a graduate has already expertise in, would only increase his or her skills. In the present COVID scenario, already there is a shortage of skilled doctors, and it's a known fact that allopathic medicine is the only treatment for COVID. So it doesn't make any sense in training MBBS students with Ayush. What the country need now is more skilled doctors who are experts on their own field. To conclude, each job has its own dignity and require a certain skill in a short span of time. No one can acquire the skill that someone has been training for years. And MBBS students chose this field because of their interest and commitment towards the allopathic field of medicine. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Devi. Devi.
Respected Chair, India has the unique distinction of having 6 approved systems of medicines, which include allopathy, Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and Yoga, Sovarikpa, and homeopathy. Currently, India follows a parallel kind of policy of health system, where the aim is to give different practices their own importance and they are practiced parallel to each other. However, this has also led to doctors having preconceived notions about the other practice, which nurture unpleasant feelings towards each other. This is where the draft regulations for compulsory rotating internship 2021, released by the NMC, tries to correct. It aims for students to be exposed to a different school of thought and to integrate the benefits of that school of thought in their own practice. I will now be discussing 2 articles about the same. An article published in February 2018 in the Journal of Integrative Medicine by 2 members of Maulana Azad Medical College seeks to prove the importance of the changes brought forward. The article is titled Awareness, Practice and Views about Integrating Ayush in Allopathic Curriculum of Allopathic Doctors and Interns in a Tertiary Care Teaching Hospital in New Delhi. The survey was conducted for 500 allopathic doctors and 150 interns. The survey was conducted using a structured questionnaire. The results include a majority of the doctors, 95%, were aware of the term Ayush. Most of the participants, 63%, felt that therapies under Ayush are effective. A majority of the doctors, 84%, were of the view that more research is required in the field. While homeopathy, 44%, was the most common system used by doctors for themselves, yoga was the therapy that was most recommended to patients. Nearly half of the doctors recommended Ayush to their patients, mainly for chronic illness. A majority of the participants agreed that students of allopathic medicine should be familiarized with Ayush. The conclusion of the studies were that doctors and interns were aware of the Ayush system and they use it for themselves and recommend it for patients. And they believe that the integration of Ayush with allopathic medicine may help in improving patient care, which is the most important objective of the government. A similar survey was also conducted in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, the results of which were published in the Journal of
The
Complementary.
time assigned in the motion has elapsed. Moving on to the next delegate. Chair calls MP Augustine.
Nature always broods the answers for all the ailments. Present linking the branches, we can evolve better ways of extracting the information hidden in nature. It expands a clinical viewpoint of diseases when they study a different branch. Different streams of treatment merged together creates a stronger hybrid that has the advantages of both the system of medicine. Doctors will be better equipped to deal patients. Being aware of natural treatment methods, doctors might not be hasty in prescribing allopathy drugs. This is better for patient health-wise and also financially. It is our heritage, our system of medicine that is being recognized. Understanding this system and application of it along with modern medicine can help to reduce risk if giving heavy drugs, rather aid with less toxic medicines. Even though the course for a short period, the knowledge that harbors can perhaps aid their clinical life for many years to come. It can broaden their vision and instill interest towards Ayurveda and maybe even be motivated to pursue that in the future. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Paul.
Respected Honorable Chair, it is not judicious for an intern trained in modern medicine to partake and practice a system of medicine which they have not learned in undergraduation with the proper know-how and show-how archetypes. And to do it in an internship is dangerous to the public and the system. Ayush and its components are vast subjects, and it is highly doubtful that an intern will grab efficient skill worthwhile during that 1 week duration. Overall, the introduction of Ayush can be considered as an unnecessary crash course of sorts, which is a waste of time and energy. Cramming information about an alternative field of medicine in a week, hanging on to the frail hopes of utilizing this knowledge in their work career, as opposed to the many years spent by an Ayush student, is a complete mockery of the system. Ultimately, it is another attempt to initiate mixopathy, similar to the order allowing Ayurvedic doctors to practice surgery. If medical students and doctors across the nation are protesting as a collective against mixopathy, then this collective opinion can't simply be ignored. An opinion to protect the both allopathic and Ayush sectors, as well as the public. Half knowledge is always more dangerous than no knowledge. The problem of doctor shortage doesn't seem to be an issue that can be solved with 1 week of Ayush postings, and the opposition doesn't see why it has been considered as one of the advantages of this scheme. If the NMC is aiming to improve exposure amongst medical graduates, then they should try and increase emphasis on other fields like family planning, which is the need of the hour, and externship programs, which haven't been clarified in the draft. To conclude, both the Ayush and modern medicine sectors have their own distinct and diverse set of values. It wouldn't be advisable to mix and match these teaching systems. In the present situation, rather than hoping for a hybrid system, which will undoubtedly have loopholes and flaws, the opposition believes it is better to work on increasing the efficiency of these fields independently. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Vinthia.
Respected Chair, a draft for a new internship practice for MBBS doctors prepared by the NMC has mandated that MBBS graduates will have to undergo a mandatory 1 week elective posting in any Ayush medicine branch. We fully oppose this inclusion of 1 week exclusive elective posting, which is contrary to the established norms, superfluous, and an attempt to initiate mixopathy. We should strive for purity of profession. Mixopathy is not good for the healthcare system, as the doctors practicing all branches of medical science will lack in depth knowledge of any particular system of medicine. We feel that the main motive for the inclusion is the encroachment of Ayush professionals into the modern medicine system. Earlier, there existed a bridge course system in which doctors from alternative medicines could practice modern medicine after attending a bridge course just for 3 months. But one must remember the aftermath we are suffering from since the Ayush doctors took hold of the scalpels. If we allow the introduction of Ayush medicine during our internship, thing can now affect the modern medicine doctors can practice Ayush. Why not the other way? Also, all of us are well aware that no one can study any system of medicine in just a week. Hence, it is up to us that we raise our voice against this imperfect and illogical decision for the well-being of humankind. To conclude, we want the purity of system to be maintained and never mixing up. There are many other branches of medicine, such as family medicine, bioethics, and palliative care, and these things could be included instead of a different and new system like Ayush. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Naja.
Thank you, Chair. Indian health sector is one of the most impressive in the present world, a booming sector with many promising hands. Even when we strive to gain perfection, there are many hurdles in universal health standard. The standard care comes with a cost. Accessibility, affordability, and quality is questionable in certain parts of the country. In the name of overcoming this triad, Government of India is introducing Supari to the healthcare system as per the new draft. Well, in their defense, they are concerned about giving care to all, but a care without standard can be more fatal. This is what opposition is stressing on. I do accept that Ayurveda has placed a part of foundation for modern medicine, but both these fields have diverged and evolved in its own different direction and now runs parallelly. Cross-talking is not an option now. Ayurveda runs on principle of fluid and plant-based medicine and is comparatively primitive yet efficient. But modern medicine runs on biochemical and physiological basis of human body. Mixing these totally different ideologies is futile as well as fatal. A patient coming to an allopathic doctor expecting Ayurvedic treatment wanted effective, no proper treatment, and this is applicable in a vice versa scenario too. And this also gives a chance for Ayush graduates to question why they aren't allowed a similar exposure to allopathy. We have enough fake doctors and con artists who have put black marks over the face of modern medicine, and it's not humanly possible to gain a 5-year knowledge over a period of 1 week internship. When it comes to medicine, half knowledge is dangerous. If our present government is trying to follow some other country's healthcare system, it's not a well thought of move. Mixing of modern medicine with a completely parallel alternative such as Ayush is pure mockery to Indian medical graduates who had brought sweat and tears to enter a college and reach to the professional point of modern medicine. It also questions Ayurvedic graduates who had worked hard to gain this knowledge over years. It degrades their value. Now let's talk about surgical aspects. Ayurveda doesn't have anesthetics or trauma care. Yes, Ayush has a role to play in base of surgical fields, but we have come so far as to robotic and microscopic surgeries that it's like asking where is the steam engine in this era of electric motors. You can't change or overcome the problems of doctors' shortcoming overnight. Real doctors have to be trained under proper conditions and competencies, however long it takes. If exposure is what government is aiming for, then please grant the graduates nutrition or family planning courses or something that runs hand in hand with the modern medicine, rather than wasting a week of precious internship period to a course with different base and principles. Thank you.
Chair calls MP Abir.
Honorable Chair, the NMC is built to include training in alternative disciplines of medicine like Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathy in medical internships is the one that is to be totally opposed. Modern medicine and Ayurveda are two successful systems of medicine, but mixing up them does not make any sense. The draft by NMC provides for 7 days of Ayush training within the compulsory internship at the end of standard MBBS course. This can never create any good impact but only affect the healthcare system. Just by a short span of time, a medical graduate cannot acquire complete knowledge on an entirely different system of medicine. A skillful doctor is born after continuous practice for years. Instead of mixing up the two systems, they should be made efficient in their own system of medicine. Half knowledge is always dangerous in medical field. It is not prudent for an intern trained in modern medicine to partake and practice a system of medicine which he or she has not learned in undergraduation with know-how and show-how paradigms. And straight away, coming to do it in an internship is dangerous to public health and system. Deployment of MBBS interns in the clinic of any other system of medicine is apparently a waste of precious time and can be utilized in some other relevant specialty. This is unnecessary and should be omitted exclusively. In order to overcome the shortage of doctors, number of medical colleges and number of medical seats should be increased and foreign medical graduates should be given chance too. Each system of medicine has its own dignity and values, and it requires certain skill to excel in that field which cannot be developed in a short span of time. Let the systems of medicine run separately and do welfare for the society. Thank you.
Now, Chair call Honorable Prime Minister for the resolution.
The crux of the resolution is that the government doesn't want to modify the present draft and will proceed with the existing one released on 22nd April 2021.
Please register your vote in voice. Abbas?
No.
Abir?
No.
Ananya?
Yes.
Ashwin?
No.
Augustine?
Yes.
Devi? Devi? Eloisa?
Yes.
Eloisa? Farzana?
No.
Musammil?
Yes.
Naja?
No.
Paul?
No.
Vindhya?
No.
Vishwanath?
Yes.
No.
Chair calls opposition leader for the resolution.
The opposition, by the before stated facts, oppose the new reforms and request the government to withdraw the compulsory internship from Ayush courses from the draft. The base of the Indian medical system and the history, along with its paradigms, have been covered in the foundation courses in the first year itself. The two are independent streams of medicine and should be caretaken independently, and the growth of each is the responsibility of the government and not mixing them together.
Please register your vote in voice. Abbas?
Yes.
Abir?
Yes.
Ananya?
No.
Ashwin?
Yes.
Augustine?
No.
Devi?
Abstain.
Eloisa?
Yes.
Farzana?
Yes.
Musammil?
No.
Naja?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Vindhya?
Yes.
Vishwanath?
Yes.
The resolution put forward by the opposition is democratically chosen, and the chair requests the government to intake the collective decision of the draft. Now, the session is closed. Thank you. Zakaria sir, you're on mute.
He was using the name allopathy.
That we should not accept that terminology, because it was started from the Hippocrates or period from Greek medicine. That Greek medicine has been changed to modern medicine, and this allopathy were also a Greek origin, and it has to also go with the old Greek medicine, and from that the modern medicine developed in last 200 years. So we have to, all the speakers, our important speakers are all of the MPs were excellent speakers, and this one or two places only this allopathy word came, and I was strong. I request you not to use this is allopathy term, but to use only modern medicine graduates like you. I wish you all this success. This parliament was very successfully conducted by Dr. Rabia. Thank you. Thank you for giving me one more minute.
Thank you, sir.
Joy, sir.
Yeah, I think that was a beautiful debate, I would say. And I strongly feel that the people who spoke for it, for having Ayush in internship, I'm pretty sure that they don't believe in it. It may be that they were just arguing it out for the sake of arguing, and they could bring up a few points here and there. And I'm not a part of the debate, or I would just cut them into size. Please forgive me. You people are young, of course. You don't like to be cut into sizes. But they didn't really have much of a point. But still, it's okay. I think it was quite stimulating. That's why I stuck along till the end. I love hearing the young people speak and give out their ideas. But I would request the ones who are going for the motion of having Ayush in the internship, do not please make it public. Because then what happens, you will be actually, they say, you'll be cutting your own arm, like you'll be putting an axe on your own feet. That's all. I would congratulate MSN Kerala and Dr. Binoy and your president. I mean, he's stuck along for such a long time, really. He also is a very much interested person in such type of parliamentary debates. Thank you very much. And I think otherwise you have done very well. I just wanted to know from your leaders, what is your score? Score in the sense, your membership score. Does anybody know?
Rabia, Vishnu? Rabia?
It's just I like to hear scores, because now that the Olympics are going on.
Sir, I don't know the correct number. I think it's 3,500.
No, it's more than 4. Get your fundas right, because the other day it was given, it was more than 4,000. I was so happy because I think the other next state who is highest is somewhere in 500s. You people have gone into 4 figures.
That's Kerala. That's Kerala.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
What do you call it? God's own, what's it? God's
own country.
God's own land, huh? What's it?
God's own country.
God's own country. Lovely. Thank you. I think I just have those words and go to sleep tonight. I'll have a very good sleep. Thank you, Binoy, for asking me to come. And thank you, MSN Kerala. I think you people are leading the show. I'm from Maharashtra, so we are far behind you, but it's okay. We'll pick up. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you, Ajay, sir. We are amidst a pandemic, but we should see an adversity. All adversities should be taken up as opportunities. I was really thrilled and fascinated by the talk given by all the participants. I'm very glad that the future of IMA MSN is in safe hands, and same with IMA. You are all the future of IMA, and I'm very much thrilled and fascinated by the presentation by each and every one of you. Congratulations, each and every. I don't want to mention the names. All of you spoke very well, and I was just staying on and listening like that. So thank you very much. Thank you, Rabia, and everybody who has spoken well today. Thank you all. Rabia, over to Sruthi and Rabia.
Thank you so much, sir. So here we come to an end of the session. So on behalf of Indian Medical Association Medical Students Network Kerala, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all the respected leaders, Dr. Ajay Saha sir, Dr. P.T. Sakaria sir, Dr. Binoy sir, for joining our session. Thanks to all the speakers and thanks to all those who have joined the session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Rabia, one more thing. We can also
use
a certificate to all the participants from IMA Kerala State Branch. It's indeed a wonderful session. Some people have missed this wonderful session.
Sure, sir.
Secretary sir,
Sure,
can
sir, we
you
can
arrange it from our side? We'll arrange it from our side.
Binoy, let me go to other meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for spending whole time with us, sir. It's a pleasure to have you.
This was an excellent performance by this group of students, Emerson students. They did it very well, extremely. I have no words to admire them. But it is only a start. You have to be there for all the atrocities and the correction of the things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.